Okay, so this is a video about how to make percussive loops and how to multi-track using non-multi-track machines. It's basically a process of dubbing more than one sound or pattern together onto a new tape. So what I've done here is recorded a few different percussive sounds. I've started with a woodblock sound to act as a kind of hi-hat in the rhythm. And what I'm doing is I'm taking that recording and playing it back again and again and rewinding it off the Revox machine there onto another tape. So I've got multiple copies of the same sound that I can cut up and use in the pattern. In front of me I have a pad where I've mapped out the pattern, if you like, so I know what parts I need, a sort of kick drum sound, a snare, and this woodblock hi-hat, and that allows me to know how many instances of each sound I need, how many copies. So what I'm doing now is just scrubbing the tape past the playhead on the second machine and marking off with a Chinograph pencil where the start of each woodblock sound is. That allows me to take the tape off the machine and cut where the start point is for each instance of the sound, and I can use that to build up my loop. So I've sped this up loads because it does take a long time. You do have to have a bit of patience. Again, it's not difficult, but it's just fiddly. Nearly there now. From memory, I think I needed 9 of the woodblock sound for the pattern. Something like that anyway. Right, it's obviously night time now, so I'm doing the same thing with one of the other sounds, which serves as a snare, and then the other sound, which was a kind of kick drum sound, which I made by thumping the table, I think, with a beater. So again, I'm just recording as many copies of each sound as I need from the pattern onto this second tape. I've applied a bit of reverb to the snare sound here. The snare sound was made by just hitting one of the reels on the tape machine with a little drumstick. So there we go. I seem to have all the sounds there in place by the looks of it. So now I need to begin the process again of marking with the white pencil where the start of each of those sounds is to. So it's quite easy to hear where it starts. It's pretty easy to work with this sort of tape. There we go. So that's getting marked now as the start of one of the sounds. I've sped this up because I just repeat the process a few times for the rest of the sounds I need. It's similar to the way I built the melody in the last video, except obviously I've not changed the pitch. It's just a rhythm rather than needing to know the pitch as well. There is quite a lot of this, but I'm just going to let it play so you can see how long it takes. Again, there isn't much point doing it this way unless you like doing it, because you can get much better results using a computer. I just like the hands-on approach and to keep the technique alive. If you can hear me slurping, I've got a drink, I'm sorry. Right, so now I begin the process of just roughly cutting the tape into sections. So I'm just finding the white line for the start of each sound and cutting about 3 or 4 inches worth of tape at the end of after that, just so I've got enough to work with. Again, I've sped this up enormously because this takes quite a long time. I'm just arranging them and marking them with a white pencil there so that I can see that they're either the snare, the hi-hat, or the kick. I always mark the direction of travel on as well, in case I drop them or there's a gust of wind or something and I lose them and need to start again. because that means I know which bits of tape need to go where and which direction they face when I stick them together. So from memory, this is the kick drum sound that I made. As I said in the last video, don't throw any of the tape away that you cut off. Even the little scraps can be useful for things, even if it's just for inserting silence, or you might find you've got something interesting on the end of a bit of tape that you can use in a future track. What I'm doing now is measuring each note or each beat according to the plan I've made. So I have that broken down into the minims, crotchets, blah 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 blah, or sixteenths, 1/8, etc., or full beats, and I can then look at the measurements I've got for each length of note and cut the tape accordingly in inches. So most of these I believe are 1 7/8 of an inch or 15/16 of an inch, which is the 16th note size. I've actually recorded some delay, which is in time, which is in 16ths, in time with the track I'm making onto the kick drum, so there's a bit of rhythmic texture there as well. What I'm assembling here is the kick and the snare, because they don't actually overlap. If they were to overlap, I'd need to do them separately and dub both tapes to one new tape on a different machine, and then cut a loop out of that and combine it with the woodblock loop I made. Again, I'm going to let this play at high speed just so you can see it all happening. It does take a long time. Right, then I'm making a loop out of the finished sequence. That's what it sounds like. This is a loop I also prepared, but I don't seem to have filmed. This is a pattern made out of that first whoop. Right, so now I've got two loops on here of the same length. One contains the kind of hi-hat sound, the other has my kick drum and snare with some delay that I've got in time and printed to the tape as I recorded it. So now I'm going to record hopefully a synchronized version of this to this tape machine, and I can then mix these together. So that's the way I multi-track. I just record two things onto one. So I'm going to have to try and get these in sync manually, And as long as I get one of them in sync, I can then make that into a loop and reproduce that more easily. So here goes. Right, I need to find a loop where it's nicely in sync. That one. What I'm doing now is trying to find the start and end point of one full loop that's in sync. I kind of did a bit of a rush job on this, to be honest, so the loops went exactly the right length, meaning the one on the right hand side did have to be sort of slowed down manually to get it right against the other one. But all I needed was for one to sound alright. So I'm just trying to find the start of the loop, mark that off with a white pencil so I can cut it, and then the end of the loop so I can do the same and stick the two ends together, making a literal loop of tape. And that'll be the drums. Obviously, if you want more layers, you just repeat this process, adding more and more. But every time you record, you end up with more noise floor. Tape is quite noisy, especially if it's rubbish old machines like this that haven't been maintained. I've just sped this up because it's a little bit tedious. I'm just making a loop out of it. So that's the melody that I made in the last video on the right hand side machine. Because I know the previous loop was 15 inches long because it was 2 seconds at 7.5 inches a second, I'm just measuring from the start to check that where I've got marked on as the end point in white is actually 15 inches, so they synchronise. Luckily it was about right. And that's now a loop. That's me realising I had the loop in backwards. That's obviously not in sync, so I'm just trying to start it at the same time, and then I'll probably have to put my thumb on one of the bits of tape a little bit to slow it down here. There we go. So now I'm going to record some of that onto another tape so that it's all stuck together. I've also put a bit of reverb and delay on my melody. So I'm just having to squeeze the tape slightly to slow it down there. Keep it in sync. So there you go. That's how I assemble tracks. Once I've got sections like that, I can then cut those out and insert other sections where everything's all recorded together. Yeah, it's a right pain, but it is fun. So if you have any questions about what I've done here, please let me know. This was just a rough thing, really, smashed out. A couple of small loops just to show you from start to finish how it's done. Realistically, it took a couple of hours. To make a full track it does take a lot longer than that. It's usually not possible in one sitting. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that and found it interesting.